Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to work on the dash today. Start doing a little bit of work. You know, it's after work. I already had my supper. Figured I'd do a little work on the dash. So today's goal is this. I need to work on getting these gauges. This is temp, oil pressure, volts, and the tach up top here. The tach I plan on trying to get into here. I don't know if I'm just going to sit it in here and get some holes and some wiring down below. I'm not sure yet, or just take the clock out and set it right in there. That should fit in there perfectly. These gauges, if you can see inside here, I had bored out the hole a little bit bigger to fit a gauge to these gauges this size. And they do fit perfectly in there. You can put the clamp on it behind it and they actually lock into the original rim or piece in there that's holding those gauges in place. My goal is to get all those up top with the original gas gauge. Hopefully it works. Well, let's just get to it and find out. All right, here we go. Let's start. We do got to take off these screws up here. All right, let's get this going. I know I should probably use a nut driver, but you know what? I'm not going to do that. See if we can get this one out. She's out. Put that over there. Should be another one somewhere over here. Here it is. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think I actually have to pull this down. That one and this one. Of course, that one's a nut drive. This one's a regular drywall screw. I should have enough space to get there. Yep. There's that one. And this one I can't really get to it, can I? Yes, I can. But let me get it out. Alright guys, so here, let me get this thing going again. Should be right there. Take this guy off. Oh. Drop this guy down. Right. Get this guy out, which I actually had to put a drywall screw in it, because it did get stripped out a little bit. So I'll get that out. That'll give me access to the other screws for the, let's see. All right, give me enough access for those screws, and there's 4 screws. There's one there, one right there, the other one's right there, and the other one's right there. Let's get those out. Let's see. Oh, sorry guys, didn't mean to drop you. Of course, that one's out. Let's get this one on. Where is it? Right here. Okay. I can grab it. Nope, I dropped that one too in there. And that one's out. There you go. It's like a little jukebox. A little casino machine. Drops the coins down. Okay, take this one out. Alright, that one's out. One more to go. Okay. Once you get these out, you should be able to just about pull the cover off. Grab that little screw, and there you go. She's down. So now I gotta pull this out. I believe I have to yank on it really good. Maybe I can get over it. I don't remember. Let's try. Alright, let's try to get this out. I remember. Oh, I forgot. I gotta get this ring off. The cigarette lighter. You know, when cars actually had cigarette lighters in them. I should tilt forward somewhat, even though the okay, so she don't want to come out. All right. Let's see if I can put you guys down. All right, let's see if we can get it out without breaking it. So I gotta pop this out here like that, and this one should come out this way. Well, I don't remember how difficult it was to get out, but I didn't think it was that difficult to get out. Even with this there. Alright, let me see if I can manually shift this now. Where is it? Well, because I took the column out. Now that ain't gonna move, but that doesn't really get in the way. So let's try to get it out. It keeps making that popping noise. Alright. I don't remember why. Yeah, that is in the way. Okay, that is in the way. Alright, so now I got that off finally. I forgot I had the key in the ignition to actually do that. So now you just take these little nuts off here. Not nuts, I'm sorry. Little screws, hex screws. Put those down here. Oh, somebody tightened those pretty tight. I wonder who did that. That one off. That one off. Take that one off. Come on. Alright, I gotta get my magnet. Let's try this. Magnet out. Yep. Get the other one out. Same deal. Little screw. Put them up top here, I guess. And this guy, right? That will take care of those guys. What that does, it pulls this right out. See how this is connected? Just connects right there. Alright guys, so let's see a continuation of the gauges. What I ended up having to do, because the cluster, this cluster here, You know, G-bodies use that wiring thing in the back. There's no actual wires. It connects to a plug. I'll show you that in a minute when I take it back out. But I said, well, I can cut all these out in the back and put gauges in them, get wiring. But the fuel gauge, I would have to figure out the wiring on that. But I said, you know what? Since I have the, I forgot what it's called, Iquis from, I think it's from O'Reilly, sells them. So I figured, you know, since I have those gauges, why not get a fuel gauge to match? So there it is. Hopefully it's the right size. I don't know if it is. Kind of looks like it is. I don't remember if it was a 2-inch or 2.5, 2.25 inch, but it should work in place of that gauge, and at least all the gauges will be the same. You know, I already went online, checked to see how to install them. I just need ignition, ground, and signal from the fuel tank, which I should be able to get off this gauge here, because it is just a simple 3-wire connection. So the wires are there. I just got to figure out what end it is, but I'll show you that when I take the thing off again. All right, so I already took out the screws from the corner here, here, up here, and back here there's one. So this just pops right out. You know, pretty simple. And that's what I mean by the back. There's no wiring, so to speak. There's that plug, and then there's that plug. So I just got to get behind there. There's wiring behind it, and figure out which lead here. Let me see. So this is the fuel gauge up here. So if I follow some of these lines, like this long skinny one goes all the way over here to here, and goes to the lights. That's that one. And then there's this one, which is connected to everything. So I'm going to assume that one's the ground. And this one, I think maybe ignition, because that goes over here, that connects to here, that. It's just crazy. It's just crazy wiring. But in order for me to make this work, once I get this cover off and these off, you'll see behind there how this thing is built. And I've seen other people do it. I didn't see them how they did it though. But I need to just figure out what have I got to cut out. But if I got to cut out, I might also cut this one out and use the aftermarket, this one instead, and see what I can do. All right, let's take this cover off and go from there. All right, so that one is a I don't know if it's focusing. It's 7/32 screws. These little guys right here, and they just, oh god damn it, hold on. And they just unscrew from here. See if I can do this with one hand. There's one. Put that up on the dash. The other one is back here. God damn it, man. You know, it is true. It is difficult to do things with one hand, but of course I don't have the driver. I'm just using the shaft, and if it's too tight, I just throw the ratchet on it. But there's that one. Use a little magnet, pop that bad boy right off. Put that up here, and the other one, because I already had this off once before. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. That crystal is just connected to that. So in here, as you can see, just a bunch of gauges, a lot of plastic. See all the plastic right here? All this back here is just space. So the only thing I need from this would be this perimeter around here, so I have something to attach this to attach this to. Because if without this, there's nothing to attach to it. I mean, it won't attach up top because these cutouts right here, these little cutouts right here, go around that. There's nothing for it to attach to. Unless I can figure out a way to do that. If I can do that, then I won't need that. Actually, that might be more beneficial. Let me see. So yeah, as you can see, it's just a groove right there. There's nothing there. But, you know, if I come up with something else, then I don't have to go through that whole deal of cutting this thing up. Yeah. Or do I? I don't, let me think about this. Be right back. Alright guys, so I did a little math. Well, no, I can't say math. A little deciphering here. So, this plug right here, and this is for all you, I'm going to assume for most G bodies. I know this is a Grand Prix, 86 Grand Prix, and it has that cluster, you know, dummy lights basically, connected to that switch. And that switch is basically that right there, the opposite way. So when you plug it in, it plugs into that. All right, so I loosened it up, and I figured out what connection goes to what. So if anybody watching this is planning on changing their gauges, putting them up the top, this is the wiring for it. Hopefully you guys can see that. So let's see. So looking at it this direction, straight on. Get some light on here so you can see. A little more light. All right. So right here, that's the fuel sending. That's from the fuel tank. This one right here is key on ignition. This one right here is ground. This one right here is oil pressure. This one right here is volts. Another ground. This is temperature. This is another ignition, basically key on. And when you put your lights on, there's power there. So that's to plug in the lights to your gauges. You know, they come with lights for a ground and connection. So that's that connection. So it makes connecting those gauges a lot easier, connecting them to the top. Let me go ahead and start doing that. I'll record when I drill this thing out. I already drilled that hole out to fit. I gotta just drill these out a little bit, ream them out a little bit, and can slide the gauges right into that, and then I won't need to cut into that, or I still might, because I still need that right there, I guess. Well, no, I kind of need that. Well, let me see again. So yeah, I think I'm gonna end up having to cut this entire rim off, just the back rim where the mounting screws go, because that's all I need. Let me go ahead and start doing some cutting and drilling on the cover first, and I'll record some of that too, and then we'll get back into it. All right guys, so I was down here, you know, doing the holes, you know, with the hole saw. It's very difficult to get this thing to line up. And this one, I mean, you kind of see it. I mean, when the cover's in it, when the gauge is in it, you don't see that edge. But then I looked really close at it, and if you look really close at the edge, there's a little tiny lip. Let's see if I can show you guys. Right here, there's a little tiny ridge that bumps out a little bit, which doesn't let the gauge fall in. So I said, well, maybe that's all I need to get rid of. So I filed down this one, you know, with a regular rasp, regular file with the round edge. And I did that, and believe it or not, it drops right in. Nice and flush, like that. Perfect. Well, lesson learned, I guess. So I'm just going to do the other hole, make sure everything fits fine, and then get ready to swap over the gauges from where they are now to this. Okay guys, so I'm in the my workshop right now downstairs in the basement. I have to cut the backing to the gauges, which is this cluster right here. I started to do a couple cuts here. I got to cut across. I got to cut all across this, all the way around, all this, all the way around to here, because what I need are these areas right here. This rim around here is what I need to mount my gauges. It goes like this in the car, but without the blue, the bezel itself that goes where the gauges attach to this right here, and the crystal and the cover all attached to this screw right here. And then on the bezel, there's two pieces here that hold the crystal in place. That gets attached to this. The blue gets attached to the opening. So I have to do some cutting. So let's get to it. All right, let's try this. Alright guys, so I pretty much got the gauges kind of lined up where I want them, kind of like that. Got the fuel, put the oil pressure up top, I put the volts there, I'm going to put the temp there. Of course, temp is the only one that you cannot just disconnect this here. You have to disconnect the whole line, which goes underneath the dash, through the firewall, and into, I shut this light off here, and it goes into over here, right down here. I don't know if you can see that, right there. That's where it goes. So I gotta disconnect that, drop whatever fluid's on the top of the block only, at least it doesn't lose a lot of fluid. Run that wire through, run it back, reconnect it, rinse and repeat. Let's take care of that right now. Alright guys, I did a little bit of running. I disconnected the thermostat line, temperature sensor from the engine block, ran it through the walls. This is what I got so far. So here's the temperature, here's the oil pressure coming back up, and I had to, of course I don't have colored wires, so I had to extend these wires here, which are, let's see, those wires right there, those three, the pink with black, and black, obviously a ground. And I have it over here, written down. So as you can see, pink is the fuel sending signal, pink and black is ignition, and black is ground. So by right, if I turn the car on, that should go up. Well, at least put the ignition on. Let's see. Let's hope this works. And there you go. Yep, I have just over a half a tank. Perfect. At least I got something right for a change. All right, let me continue and I'll get back to you. Okay, guys, I got everything connected. Let me show you. It's not the prettiest of connections, the wiring. I only had a black wire left, but everything is connected. Power, the cooling temp sensors reconnected into the block. Top that off with some fluids. Oil pressure is connected. Lights are all connected. So before I screw this thing in, well, maybe I'll have to put one screw in just to keep it in place. Let me see where those screws at. Right here. Nah, I'll just leave it just like that. But because right now, that's where it's gonna sit. Right there. Just like that. Is it all the way back? I think it is. Yep, it is all the way back. Yep, it is. All right. Let's get this bad boy started up. See what happens. All right. Well, we got oil pressure, volts. And it's definitely charging. Temp ain't gonna go up yet, but then we got fuel. Alright, he's running cold. It is cold today. I do gotta check for antifreeze leak. Oh, wait a minute. We got to connect wires. Hold on. Alright, wires are reconnected. Hey, you know, sometimes you forget. But I do know it wasn't leaking, so that's a good thing. Let's try that again. Oh, that's much better. Okay. Alright. We still got oil pressure, bolts, and fuel. We are good to go. I just got to button this up, button it up, top off my fluids, and I'm not going to put the dash back together yet because I still want to get the tack mounted up where the clock is. But for that, I got to get to the speedo cable, which I don't know if I'm going to get out. Let me see if the lights work. Hey, we got lights. Look at that. Awesome. Alright, guys. Alright, guys. I'll check back in a few minutes. Alright, guys. That concludes today. As you can see, it's in. Let me start it back up again. Grab the key. Everything works. Oil pressure's going up. Still gonna work on getting that up here. Alright. Hey, if any of you guys know how to take that clip out, I saw some videos, but I'm like, for some reason my dash doesn't come out far enough. Let me know if there's a trick or something, guys. Leave it in the comments below. Alright, let's try to continue our little adventure today. I'm going to try to get my tack up onto the other portion of the cluster. What I mean by that is, up here, I gotta somehow get behind where the speedo cable is to pull this out. I want to try to get the tack inside where the clock is. Take the clock out, put the tack in there. There he is right there. I already did the other gauges yesterday, and those work fine. But I gotta get the tack up here. That is the goal for today. Let's see how it goes. Alright, let's get going here. Let's let's... As you can see, there's not enough space to get behind there to get that thing out. Can't get in there. Okay. So how am I going to do this? Alright. Geez, how would you even get it back in? Not a whole lot of space here. Nope. I don't know. Maybe I don't have to. Maybe I can do it. Maybe I can get that out without having to remove everything. Let's see. Let me get the lenses off. There's one there. Okay. One there. And one here. Of course, that one's tight. It has to be that damn tight. And that one's off. Yep, screwdriver. Alright. Yeah, how about this guy? Is this guy too tight too? Not too bad. Alright. Alright. I think that's it. So this can come out now. Alright, I got that off. The clock. Let's see. I should be able to take that off. There we go. Okay. So maybe I don't have to take that off. That would sit just like that. Okay. Alright. Let's see. So if I just do this, I don't know if this thing's actually plugged in, screwed in, or what. I just need this thing out of the way. Let's see. Alright, that is... She is out. Oh, yeah, just two little connections. Okay. So the question now is, will I be able to get the tack in there? Because I'm gonna have to disconnect the tack. Alright guys, so here's what I had to do. So I got this. I didn't take the speedometer off because it just doesn't come out enough. So I said, well, let me figure out a way that I can still use this mounting the way it is, just like that, with the cover. So what I did was I made a ring out of some masonite. I may change it to maybe a piece of black Lexan, or I just paint that black. For now, this should fit perfectly. So the tack, believe it or not, the tack will fit very tight. I mean, I really have to push that in to get it to go in, but at least it will stay mounted on there. So, you know, I would tuck the wire down in here. Down there's a little hole, just happens to be a nice little hole right there that goes right down the dash. Mount this bad boy right in here, like so. And I got my tack. Oh, geez, that is tight. Jesus. All right. And mount my screws and be all set. I can't push it all the way in though because of the backing. I don't want to cut it. I don't want to cut the back yet because it's still got that wiring connected in there, and if I start cutting into that, I don't know if it's going to screw up the directionals or anything like that. So I'm going to leave that the way it is. That's going to mount just like that. I just got to get the wires down and reattach it, and we'll see how we do. Okay guys, everything is back together. Let's get a dash, the cover. The only thing I didn't do was put the acrylic cover on this. I might have to trim it off of here just to cover that and that. This, you know, has its own acrylic, and so do the gauges. They're all individual. But yeah, she's all back together. I wrapped up the wires down here a little bit. Don't look as bad. Looks pretty clean. Shifter's in. Everything works. Lights all work. They're all lit up. Everything's working. Alright. Again, you know, hit that subscribe button. Catch my next video. Share, like, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think I should do next. The next thing I do have to do is stereo. I have to rewire that because the front speakers are not getting full power. It's basically, right now, it's sharing the rear inputs. So the front speakers are the left, the rears are the right. It's not balanced out right. I need to get that fixed right because to put those speakers up in the dash, that's where they go. Right there. And right there. And there is no way I'm going to be able to get that out. What I should have thought ahead was when I did my windshield, because I replaced it last year, I should have did the speakers then because I could have had access to them. But, you know, sometimes men don't think all the time. But, again, thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one. Bye.